Old money dressing has one rule. The luxury market never tells you, and breaking it is the most expensive mistake a man over 60 can make. The luxury market spent decades selling you the idea that the right labels, the right patterns, and the right signatures were the codes of old money. They weren't. They were the things old money wore before the market found them. This is the contamination timeline. 10 things the old families quietly stopped wearing, and what they wear instead. There are 10 items on this list, ordered from the oldest contamination story to the one still unfolding right now. By the time you reach number 1, you'll be looking at something that happened in your lifetime, possibly in the last 2 years, and understanding for the first time exactly why a specific piece in your wardrobe has already been quietly disqualified by the people you thought it would impress. Number 3 is something almost every well-dressed man over 60 owns and wears regularly. It was correct once. It hasn't been correct for over a decade, and no one who could tell you that has said so plainly. Number 1 is something you may have bought specifically because it felt invisible. The old families have already moved on from it. If this is what you come here for, the knowledge the market never volunteers, hit the subscribe button now. This channel exists for men who dress by rules the industry doesn't advertise. Here are 10 things men over 60 never wear, ranked from the oldest contamination to the most recent. Number 10. The regimental or club stripe tie, worn without entitlement. In 1919, the Prince of Wales wore the colours of the Grenadier Guards on a visit to the United States. American journalists noticed, and American manufacturers copied the stripe within months, with no requirement of military or club membership whatsoever. By the 1940s, Brooks Brothers was selling versions of half a dozen regimental patterns to men who'd never heard of the regiments they were wearing. The tie was originally a membership credential, nothing more and nothing less. Each regiment and university college had its own stripe direction, its own width, its own color. British regimental ties run left to right, from heart to sword, as the tradition specifies. American copies run right to left, specifically to distinguish them as non-affiliated replicas. A man wearing the wrong direction in the right room in London is still read immediately. Wearing the colors of an institution you've never belonged to is considered, in those rooms, a form of misrepresentation that's held for over a century. Old money wears a solid grenadine silk tie. Nothing to misread, nothing to earn, nothing to explain. Number 9. The tweed jacket, worn as everyday smart casual. Harris. Tweed is hand-woven by islanders in their homes on the Outer Hebrides of Scotland, and the Harris Tweed Authority protects that designation legally. The cloth was made for field sports and country estates, for shoots and long walks across cold ground. It moved into academic culture in the 1950s as the professorial garment of choice, spread through general smart casual dressing through the 1960s, and by the 1970s, it was the default second-hand shop jacket across Britain and America. The fabric didn't change. The context around it changed entirely. Old money still owns tweed. They wear it at a shoot, in the country, in the correct season, for the occasions the cloth was woven to serve. They don't wear it to dinner, to a meeting, or as a substitute for a proper sport coat in town. Tweed worn to the wrong occasion signals not country refinement, but a man who once read an article about tweed and hasn't thought about the subject since. Old money wears a plain hopsack or fresco sport coat in town and keeps the tweed for when the ground is wet. Number 8. The navy blazer with gilt or brass buttons. The double-breasted navy coat with house buttons is a naval and yacht club tradition, and the buttons weren't decorative. They bore the crest of the club or regiment the wearer actually belonged to. Henry Poole and Company on Savile Row produced the original naval reefer jacket for the British Royal Navy. Wearing generic gilt buttons without a club affiliation was already considered incorrect by the men who originated the garment. By the 1980s, the navy blazer with brass buttons was the universal business casual solution for American middle management, available in every shopping mall anchor store in the country. What old money understood from the start is that the buttons are the entire point of the garment. Generic brass with no house crest isn't a version of the original. It's a copy that's forgotten what it was copying. Old money wears an unstructured single-button sport coat in hopsack or linen. No metal, no crest to misrepresent. Number 7. The large external logo polo shirt. The Lacoste polo didn't begin as a brand. It began as one man's personal mark. René Lacoste earned the nickname the Crocodile from a 1923 bet in Boston. He admired a crocodile skin suitcase in a store window. His team captain promised to buy it for him if he won his next match. And he lost. He kept the name. Designer Robert George sketched the crocodile in 1927. Lacoste had it embroidered on his personal blazers for 6 years before La Chemise Lacoste was even founded in 1933. Lacoste is documented as the first brand to place a logo on the outside of a garment. The men who wore the original shirt in the 1950s and 60s understood the crocodile as one man's emblem. When the logo expanded across the chest through the 1980s, and competing houses grew their own marks to fill an entire shirt front, old money read the signal change and moved on. A logo the size of a fist isn't status. It's an application for status. Old money wears an unbranded peak polo or a Lacoste with the original small crocodile, worn for what it originally was and not what it became. Number 6. The Burberry check displayed outward. The Burberry check was designed in 1924 as a trench coat lining. It faced inward. The pattern was visible only when the collar turned up or the coat fell fully open. Through aggressive licensing in the 1980s and 90s, the check appeared on scarves, caps, umbrellas, handbags, and accessories of every category. Counterfeits spread across every market. By the early 2000s, certain British sports venues were banning entry to anyone wearing the visible pattern. After 2006, the brand pulled the check from 90% of its products and bought back licensing agreements to contain the damage. What old money understood from the beginning is the fact most people miss entirely. The contamination inverted the original design. What was made to face inward was being worn facing out. The trench coat itself was never the problem. The relationship with the pattern was. Old money still wears the Burberry trench, with the check on the inside where it was designed to be, visible only to the wearer. If you're beginning to see the pattern here, if you're understanding that old money didn't abandon these things because they became inferior, but because they became common, hit the like button right now. It helps this video reach the men it was made for. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Number 5. The printed silk pocket square, folded into an elaborate arrangement. The pocket square is a handkerchief. That's its function and its origin. Old money treats it as one. A flat piece of plain white Irish linen, folded flat, 1/4 of an inch visible above the breast pocket. The men's style revival of the early 2010s turned the pocket square into a performance. Paisleys, foulard prints, rep stripe squares, and elaborate puff folds appeared at every wedding, every business dinner, and every professional headshot from 2012 onward. The moment an accessory becomes a deliberate styling choice, it stops functioning as a signal and becomes decoration. Old money's pocket square isn't chosen each morning. It's the same white linen it's always been, in the same flat fold, serving the same purpose a handkerchief has always served. Old money wears white Irish linen, flat, one edge showing, and nothing arranged. Number 4. The double monk strap. The single monk strap has centuries of history in English shoemaking. The double monk is an Italian elaboration, and Savile Row tailors at houses like Huntsman have traditionally viewed it as slightly theatrical by British standards. When men's style publications discovered the double monk around 2012, it became the signature shoe of the style-conscious finance professional within 3 years. A man who had read a single article about elevating his wardrobe owned a pair by 2016. The shoe did not change. The cultural position it occupied changed entirely. A shoe that announces itself is a shoe that's working harder than it should. The double monk, in its current position, signals recent interest in clothes, not the ease that comes from having never needed to think about them. Old money wears a plain cap Oxford from a British maker, Edward Green or John Lobb out of Northampton, or Crockett and Jones if they are being practical about it. Round toe, no hardware, a shoe that asks for nothing from the room. Number 3. The slim fit suit. A suppressed waist and clean through line in the torso is a genuine tailoring tradition from Italian and French houses. For the right body, at the right age, in the right climate, it's correct. The mass market applied the silhouette universally through the 2010s, and every high street brand went slim within 5 years. For a man over 60, a slim-cut jacket doesn't serve the body. The shoulders no longer require emphasis. The chest benefits from room. The armhole wants to sit lower. Bespoke tailoring exists for precisely this reason, because the body changes over a lifetime. And a great tailor, whether on Savile Row or at a house like Keaton in Naples, adjusts the cut to match the man in front of him, not the trend behind him. The mass market has never accounted for this. A suit fitted to a trend will stop fitting within 3 years. A suit fitted to the body it serves lasts a lifetime. Old money wears a full-cut jacket with a suppressed waist, proper chest room, and a trouser broken correctly for the man wearing it, not for anyone else. Number 2. The signet ring, worn without a family crest. The signet ring is a wax seal. That's its original function and its historical definition. It authenticated correspondence by pressing a family's coat of arms, their heraldic device, granted and recorded, into heated wax. Wearing one without a genuine heraldic crest is, in the historical record, equivalent to using another person's signature. After 2018, social media discovered the signet ring, and jewelers began selling generic, oval-faced gold rings to men who wanted to project taste without affiliation. Old money noticed. The right people have always been able to read the difference between a ring bearing a real family crest, worn on the correct hand by heraldic convention, and a fashion accessory that merely resembles one. They've always been able to tell, and they always will. Old money wears the ring they inherited. If they don't have one, they don't wear one. The absence communicates nothing. The imitation communicates everything they need to know. Number 1. The visible, quiet luxury uniform. Loro Piana and Brunello. Cucinelli didn't change in 2022. The cloth is the same. The cut is the same. The construction is the same. What changed is that the names went viral. The catalyst was HBO's Succession, a single television series whose costuming made these brand names into cultural shorthand almost overnight, driving search volumes for quiet luxury up by hundreds of % across every platform within months. Houses like The Row, built by Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen on precisely the same principle of unmarked, construction-led dressing, found themselves named in the same breath on the same feeds. The quiet luxury aesthetic that spread across every platform from 2022 onward turned brand names that had functioned precisely because they were unrecognized into social media search terms available to anyone with a phone. The entire mechanism of dressing quietly depends on a shared code between the wearer and the observer. The right people recognized these clothes. Everyone else didn't. Once that arrangement was reversed, the signal was broken. Old money's response wasn't to buy different clothes. It was to remove the labels, to move to houses so small and so old that no algorithm has found them. And for now, that still means some of them. Or simply to understand that the clothes communicating most clearly right now are the ones the market hasn't named yet. It will name them eventually. Old money will already have moved on. If you made it to the end of this list, you now understand something most men who spend money on clothes never do. Every item on this list remains what it always was. The regimental tie is still a beautiful piece of cloth. Harris tweed is still among the finest woven fabric on earth. The Burberry trench coat is still the garment it was designed to be in 1924. Nothing on this list became worse. What changed in every case is who else began wearing it. Old money does not dress to look wealthy. It dresses to be unreadable to people who are trying to read it. That's the single rule running through all 10 items. Hit the like button if this list changed the way you look at your own wardrobe. Drop a comment and tell me which item surprised you the most. Are you team number 10, the regimental tie with the wrong stripe direction? Team number 6, The Burberry check that was designed to face inward? Or Team Number 1, the quiet luxury uniform that stopped being quiet the moment everyone knew the name? I read every comment, and I want to know which one landed hardest. If you have not subscribed yet, this is the channel for men who dress by the rules the market never publishes. Hit subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Remember, the most powerful signal in any room is the one that only the right people can read.